Hey everyone, welcome back. If you are new here, my name is Giovanni and I am studying cyber defense at SNHU. Each week I document my journeys. If you're into cybersecurity, tech, hit that like button and subscribe for more content. In module one of CYB 250, we focused on humans as the biggest cybersecurity threat. I found out 74% of security breaches involve human errors. 74% of security breaches involve human error. That means no matter how advanced a computer or enterprise firewalls are, or their encryption methods, the biggest vulnerability is us as humans. Some of the topics that we talked about, first of all, you're going to do this discussion post, introducing yourself to the class. If you are new to SNHU, you do this every class. If you've been following my journey, you know I typically document this process. Normally, we start with grades. There hasn't been any grades. These are the two grades we're going to talk about: the discussion post and the journal. We'll look at what you should focus on. The discussion post is important. In my post, I talked about phishing attacks, those email messages, and maybe some of you right now are getting those text messages saying you need to pay a toll. Even though that's not necessarily phishing, if you got that through an email, that's a phishing attack. Someone is trying to get your information. Insider threats was something else I talked about. You don't have to do your post like this, but I try to make sure my post is colorful. This professor has to read tons of these, maybe 12, 13, 14 students. And this just gives them something to look at that's different. At this stage of being in school, if you are at the junior level, you need to start making sure that you have references to back up the things that you're saying. We need to transition our writing style to be more polished. Another thing that I talked about in mine, as you can see, I talked about Internet of Things, but in the class this week, we talked about social engineering. When hackers manipulate people into giving access to systems, I want you to think about something. If you were to get notification that your boss needed you to go pick up Amazon gift cards, that's a social engineering attack. So again, keep in mind, 74% of breaches, okay, involve human error. How are we fighting human-based cyber attacks? Security awareness training. Companies are investing large amounts of content and time on ongoing cybersecurity training. I know in our company, we do a lot of training, and even here at SNHU, you will receive notifications and announcements. Security awareness training, number one. Number two, multi-factor authentication. If you have never encountered a company where you have to do something, for example, an Okta verification, that's something that's a multi-factor authentication. So that allows you to go in and you have to have a device. So let's say you go in our company, this is what our Okta looks like. If I were to go into Okta for school, if they had that. This is multi-factor authentication. This is what Okta looks like. You put in your username and password. What happens is you have an app on your phone that goes through and says, hey, did you just try to log in? What that provides you with is an easy way to be able to say, I have the device in my hand, or I have the device with me. And that allows that if somebody has your credentials, that's multi-factor authentication. The third point we talked about was like least privileged access. So this means only giving employee the minimum access they need. Okay. Let's say a marketing intern shouldn't have the same privileges as, for example, myself, an IT admin. You shouldn't have that. Least privilege access is huge. Let's go to your journal entry where you'll do most of your talking. This is worth 25 points. This is part of this week's coursework. I wrote a journal entry, okay? And my journal entry looks like this. So it's formatted in the format that we need to do. Now, keep in mind, if you try to freeze the screen and copy this, the school already has this information. When we turn in these journals, just in case you don't know, when we turn these journals in, they get put into a system, and that system then logs my name, this particular paper. And if someone turns this paper in and it mimics my paper, then they're going to then accuse you of plagiarism. You don't want to go through that part. So with this is just giving you indications of what I did. One of the biggest takeaways is that cybersecurity is not just about technology. It is about human behavior. And one of the things I'm learning as well is human factors. We can't have the best security system in place, but if one person clicks the wrong link, that could bring down the entire organization. It has happened before. So that is why I believe that cybersecurity professionals need to think beyond the code and focus on how people interact with technology. Humans are the weakest and strongest link in cybersecurity. Should companies spend more on technology or training people? Drop me a comment below. If you found this video helpful, like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Look forward to seeing you next week. We're doing a review of the Cyber Playbook. I'm considering doing my Cyber Playbook online and putting it out there. I know we usually have to turn in is the Microsoft Word, but I'm thinking of just doing it on my personal website. I'll let you know. This is the final project review. This is the final thing. There's a text document with this. If you decide what you need to do, this is the final project. Thank you for listening. I appreciate you coming by. This was quick, but that's what our events are about. We will get ready for Module 2, which I'll bring you guys up to speed next week. I'll chat with you then. I appreciate you so much. Peace.